Hi. So in Radius, there are several permission structures that are available for the administrators of the account to create. If you are an administrator, you'll probably want to look at some other videos on the tutorials, but this is specifically for people who don't have administrator rights. If you don't have administrator rights, you won't see things like settings. You also will have restricted permissions to the drips and the call queues. You might only be able to see your own leads versus everybody's leads. That's all dependent upon how your administrator sets up your Radius account. So in this video, we're going to focus on what are the things that you as an agent should be doing to trigger the automations and the marketing campaigns that your administrators have set up for you, and then also how to add leads and clients into the system and how to update those leads and clients. So the first thing that you would do is come into your dashboard. Your admin might also have posted some reports on your dashboard, so you can always check there. And if you wanted to manually add a lead, there's a little add button up here, add lead, client, or task. If you click add task from this section, it's actually going to be a generic task, so it won't be specific to a lead or a client. It would be more of an event. Say you had a department meeting, that this is where you would add that task in. So let's first add a lead. We're going to give them a status of new lead. Maybe they're interested primarily in life insurance. You'll assign yourself as the agent. It's going to default to that if you're signed in as yourself. If there's a specific carrier or product that they're interested in, you can set that. But let's just put this in as a Jane Smith. And you can fill in if there's company details, that's available there. None of this information in our system is required. Your admin might have set requirements for specific fields. But fill it in to the best of your ability, obviously. Date of birth is a definite big one that you're going to want to select, because this date of birth can generate campaigns for turning 65 or just, sending out messages on their date of birth. And then hit create lead. So here we have this lead, and you can see in the notes what workflows have been triggered based off of the workflows that we had set up in the admin section, and any pending actions based off of those workflows. Now, the reason why these workflows came about was because I put it to a status of new lead, and those are all the actions that will happen because of that status of new lead. If I disposition it to a different lead, it might actually change some of the information about the pending items, because of the fact that sometimes these workflows will actually remove the tasks going forward. So for an example, if you have a new lead and then you quote somebody, most likely you don't want to be sending out marketing materials to people that you've already quoted on. Therefore, the system will know to remove them from that previous set of workflows and then add them into the new set of workflow actions. So changing this status disposition is a huge thing. Yours might not look exactly like ours does because this is a demo account. However, your admin has set it up. You'll see the dispositions that they want you to use. Again, you can add as much information in there as you can gather, which is always helpful. The next tab is their Files tab. So if you want to attach a file, say for a quote, the file limit is actually now 20 megabytes per file. That needs to be updated. You can also add web links. So say you have a Dropbox or Google Drive address where you have specific folders on or files for that specific client, most likely. You could add in a website link specific to that lead or client. If you need to set up any additional products for that person, it would be there. Additional people is a reference for you. If there are additional people in their family that you do not want to market to, you'd add in additional people. However, if you are selling Medicare or anything that's age related, that people age into it at a different time, even if it's health insurance and you have people that are in their older years that have kids that are aging into needing their own insurance. So say you've got a father who's 50 something and a son who's 26 or about to turn 26, you would want that son in as a linked record, not as an additional person. There's a video tutorial that explains the differences about this, but basically additional people does not allow you to market. Linked records, you would actually be creating another record for that person, but then you can go to this linked records tab, click add record, and then let's say, I think I've got another Smith in here somewhere. Okay, so say Nick Smith is her spouse. What we can do is select the relationship of spouse. You can also see we've got things like beneficiary, patient doctor, referred by, etc. So these linked record relationships are great for multiple reasons. So you select the relationship and then you go down to the person's name and now they're linked. Now on every page of Jane's file, on the right-hand side, you're going to see that linked record, and you'll be able to toggle back and forth between their records. If you just click on Nick's name, it'll bring you into his file. And then if you want to go back to Jane, you would simply go down here and go to her file. So any tasks that are due for Jane are on this right-hand side as well. You can complete a task by clicking on that button. And if you wanted to see completed tasks for this person, you can show completed. If you want to edit this, click on the actual text of it, and then you can update the record and say completed and quoted on the date. And now that task is there. So that's the overview of their file. If you have the calling features enabled, you'll also have a call log if you've called them. And if you have had a conversation with them, a call recordings tab is also going to appear. So that way you can listen back on any conversations you've had. So that's a basic overview of a lead file. Let's go into clients. It's not much different. Just a couple of little extra features. So you would put the primary product onto their information page. You'll select the product above here. And then you'll scroll down and enter the policy number, their actual premium, and then any overrides or bonuses. You can also put a negative amount in here. So if you wanted to do negative 25, you could do that. And then you're going to save the update. And then you're going to go to the effective and renewal dates, make sure that those are set. There are also custom dates that your admin could potentially add. So if these are available to you, your admin has set those up. But the ones that we have set up in the system are effective date and renewal date. If you'd like to add this person manually to a call queue, you can do so by clicking on this renewal process check-in call queue or whatever call queues are available for you. And then they're automatically added into the call queue list. I find that to be helpful if I need to follow up with somebody the next day, but I don't want to get to them right away. Sometimes I'll also just add a task up here to remind myself to call them. If I set a specific time for something, I use the create new task. And you can see here that this says creating new task for Penelope Frank. So that will be associated with her file. If this is an appointment, there's also an appointment reminder setting that's available, and that is an automated feature. So if your admin has set up an automated feature for appointment reminders, all you'll need to do is say meeting for family policy. And then you would say when. So let's say it's on the 25th at 1 p.m. until about 2 p.m. And it's going to be a category of appointment with a location of, let's say, 123 Maple Drive, Burbank, California. And then any notes, her husband and 2 older children are attending. And you would add that task. You can enable client access to a portal if you choose to. You can add a task like I showed you. You can send an email template directly from their file. So you can just grab a template, and then you can even edit the text if you'd like to in that. You can send them a text message if you've got the text message in their, if you've got their cell phone in your cell phone field. If you don't, it will say the cell phone is invalid. So what we would do is go down and put their cell phone number in there. And now we'll be able to send a text message. So also, if your admin has set SMS time zones, you'll get this message where it says the current time is outside of the SMS hours. So this will be delayed until 8 a.m. the next day. So that message would be sent then. You can start a screen share, which is a wonderful feature. I won't launch it now. It's explained in another tutorial. Basically, you click on that button. It launches an email to the email address that's in this specific field. And all the lead or the client needs to do is click on the link to view your screen. It's a visual only, so they won't be able to call into it. You would need to already be on the phone with them and then start that screen share. But it's a wonderful feature that's included. You can convert that client to a lead here. And then you might also have some other custom web links and quote tools available for you there. So if for some reason this person terminated their policy, you might want to convert them back to a lead. You would also want to make sure that you updated their lead status or their client status. Also, I should show you in the leads section, to convert a lead to a client, you would just click this convert lead. And then you would say yes or okay. And then you would update their status to possibly issued, not paid, or in underwriting, and save that update. So as I've been mentioning, the big thing is putting in accurate information and then creating these statuses, or actually I should say updating the statuses and saving the update. Let me just show you a couple of other little features that you might be interested in. You can go to your calendar and you'll see a lot of tasks that you have there, but also sometimes the reminders get a little bit overwhelming if you've got effective date reminders. So you can sort this by just tasks, so it's a little bit easier. And then I use this calendar view, this list view, so that way it's a little easier for me to see what I need to do and what I've completed. You can also say sort by just upcoming, sort by overdue. So there are a lot of sort options on this calendar for you. Your call queues, you'll see your leads that you have in the call queue, unless you're an admin, and then you'll see the team. But you would, as an agent, if you are only seeing your own leads and clients, you would see yours, and then you would just call that person. If you've got the click to call dialer, you would just click on their phone number, and then you would go to the next person in the list. If you have the VIOP solution, you can hit launch dial queue. When you're done with that call list, you would just go to the next person, the next set of lists. You have email templates available to you. If they say edit, that means that you're available to edit it. Most likely, as an agent, you'll only be able to either create new templates for yourself or copy templates that exist already. You most likely will not see the edit or delete options, but those will be available for you. You will be able to use the mass email to your leads and clients. So if you go to the email button, you can say for leads and for clients, and maybe with a carrier of or a date of birth range. And then you'll select the template to use or create a new one, and you can add files and schedule that email. I'm going through this rather fast. I just want to show you an overview of what the agents can do, and then the details are in the separate tutorials. So let me show you a couple of features that are not available to you, but that the work you're putting into the system is actually going to generate. So in the drips, below the templates, there are marketing plans. So when you're putting in the renewal date, the effective date, the date of birth, etc., you can be triggering these marketing plans that the admin has created, because you can have 180 days before turning 65 as an example of possibly one date triggered email. You could have it on the person's birthday, 5 days after their effective date, to remind them about drug choice plans and doctor's visits for Medicare. Or you can say 60 days prior to the renewal date, send an email. So the work that you're putting in is going to be generating this kind of date triggered marketing. Also, the kind of work that you're doing will be triggering those automated workflows that I've mentioned before. And if you go into automated workflows, well, as an agent you can't, but your admin would be creating workflows such as new lead, which then could potentially be generating actions of create a task, send an email, send a text message, add to the call queue, remove from the call queue. There's a whole slew of features that this system is able to generate for you through those admin settings. So just know that the work that you're doing is going to impact the way that the system is able to work and do a lot of this work for you. So you're not going to have to remember to send out a follow-up email. The system is going to do it automatically for you. So check with your admin to see what they've created for you. And just remember, save that update and, just enter in the most specific information that you can. And there are other tutorials that go into depth about a lot of the features that I've covered. I just wanted to give a good overview about how an agent could utilize this system. All right, thanks so much.